Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, LIBA President and CEO, Bud Seinhorst.
Welcome to the LIBA Business Hour. Thanks to our show sponsor, Nats Detasseling. Earn cash, build character with Nats Detasseling. Learn more about Nats at notafraidtosweat.com. Our opening segment today is sponsored by U-Stop. Earn points that spend like cash with the kickback card. You can get snacks and even gas available at all 24 U-Stop locations. All right. If you want to check us out, you can check us out on theticketfm.com, the Ticket app, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Allo Channel 951. We are going to, in our first segment today, I've got Richard McGinnis with us. Richard is with NAI FMA Realty here in Lincoln. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Thank you, Bud.
All right, Richard, let's just jump right in. First of all, kind of give a background of NAI FMA Realty and what all you guys do, and then we'll kind of talk more about some of the different things that you all do.
Okay, NAI FMA Realty was actually formed back in 1961 as FMA Realty, which stood with a company called First Mid-America. It was a local stock exchange or stock brokerage firm here, and they formed their own commercial real estate company at that time, and they called it FMA Realty. So it was formed back in 1961, but it's kind of morphed at one point when First Mid-America went out and sold off, I believe, to Solomon Smith Barney, that a company called Bankers Life then bought and took over FMA Realty, and they had it mostly for their management of their local real estate properties. They own Gateway Mall, Meridian Park, and then future other buildings in the Lincoln, Omaha area. So we got involved with that, and I was hired by Bankers Life in Nebraska, which turned out to Emeritus. And then a while back, it was purchased by the Ball family, and then we joined a group called NAI Global, and it's just a syndication basically of other commercial real estate companies around the country that get together, and no ownership except for the local ownership on that.
Excellent. So when you talk about commercial realty or real estate, there's a lot of different things that are involved with that, Richard. So what are talk about kind of, you guys do property management, you do sale of commercial property and all that. Talk about kind of all of those and how you guys manage all of those.
Yeah, well, commercial property is pretty much defined as multi-family units, over 4 units, not a duplex, not a triplex. It has to be at least 4 units or more in the single building. And then you have retail buildings that are primarily retail, primarily industrial, or office. Those are some of the things that we handle. And when it comes to management, we basically manage these office buildings with multi-tenants. So you got a single point of contact with an owner, and to be able to have someone there to help fix things or be around the building and maintain those office buildings. Retail centers, we do industrial also.
So when you talk about the property management component of it, Richard, are you guys the owner and managers of the property, or do you manage properties for building owners?
We're truly a third-party management company. They hire us. We work for them, for the owners.
Okay.
And so we don't own anything. NAI FMA doesn't own any property themselves. So I think it keeps us out of a conflict with a lot of these. We don't have any conflict of interest with these owners.
And then are you also engaged in the sale of commercial real estate as well?
Primarily, that's what I do as a broker. We basically handle the sale or lease of a lot of these properties. Okay. I would say over 60-70% of my business is leasing. We have a lot of multi-tenanted properties. I always have tenants turning over, working on new deals, new leases, deciding, what the owner will do for you. So there's a lot of negotiation that goes into a lease when you're trying to do something, and that's kind of been my ticket. Also, what I have done is help in site location, site searches for companies. I pretty much know the city of Lincoln now, only living there 65 years. So if somebody comes to town and wants to know something, or if somebody local says, hey, here's my business, here's my demographics, we can find some good locations. The best thing about having a third-party broker involved too is they're working on the best interests of you. So if you're a tenant looking, I would definitely hire a commercial broker to go out and do a lot of the legwork for you, and they know which owners are good owners too.
Good. So it seems like the commercial market in Lincoln has been kind of, I'll just say, interesting the last 4 or 5 years, with just a lot of different things. People going to more remote work models. Seems like there's a bit of open space around Lincoln, especially in the downtown area, when it comes to office space specifically. But each year, you guys do a couple times a year, you guys publish a market report. And so talk a little bit about the purpose of those market reports, and then we'll go into those just a little bit more.
Yeah, we've been doing this, I believe, for about 10, 12 years now. We took every commercial property in town and put it into a database. And then we go around and make sure if it's still occupied or if it's been vacant, if they've occupied it or not. A lot of these reports are really needed by banks that are doing loans on these properties, by appraisers, by attorneys that are helping to negotiate for some of these tenants and write leases. They want to know, if it's a very active building. So we've done a very exclusive and inclusive market report over the years and got a good database and a good set of history. And you're right, market changes. We like disruption in my business. That means someone's moving somewhere. They're moving out or moving in. So we've seen a lot of that, but not as much as you think. I mean, we still have, you see a lot of these buildings go dark, and we call them shadow properties, that they're still being leased, but they may be dark. And so meaning that nobody's occupying them, but they're still being leased and the owner's still getting paid. Now that's going to change, I think, in the future here, that some of these companies that haven't occupied their space in the last, 2 years, 3 years, are probably not going to be renewing their leases. So we'll see some more of that property come on the market, which will change our market report and vacancy report and other indices that we use in our market.
So you talk about I think you called them, did you call them dark or shadow?
Dark shadow.
Leases where people are still paying their rent. However, they're not occupying the space. What, if you look at the space that's actually occupied, what does that look like over the last couple of years from an occupancy space? Because, I recently looked for some office space, and, I heard that there was upwards of maybe 35 or 40,000 square feet of open office space in the downtown area. Talk a little bit about that and what that looks like.
Well, there is. There's a lot of space on the market. And then there's a lot of space that is still being leased, but we pretty much know, that they're not going to come back. So you can go talk to an owner and say, hey, I got somebody to backfill that space for you. What it's going to look like for the future of Lincoln, that's a good question. We're seeing a lot of professionals come back to the offices. The better buildings, I say the Class A buildings, seem to be filling up pretty quickly. Mostly with the accountants, attorneys, the engineers, the professional people that want to come back. Who's not coming back, of course, is the service industry. And when it calls you, you call up on the phone and say, hey, I need some help on my loan or something. Those people are still working in their pajamas at home, and they don't have any reason not to, stay there, because all they do is work off the computer and the phone all day.
So you talked about Class A space. What are some of the different classifications of space, and what does that mean? Like, I think you mentioned Class A is like more professional office type space, right? I mean, what are some of the other ones, and how do you classify those? What's included in those?
The classification of A, B, C is kind of subjective. Lincoln, Nebraska, a Class A office building will be something that's probably professionally managed, is kept up, usually multi-tenanted, multi-storied office building. Even though some of them, like the Huddle building, I would consider a Class A office building. But they do have tenants in there. The Olson building down in the Haymarket, maybe the U.S. Bank Tower was considered a little bit, but maybe not as much anymore. The Union Bank Place, the IM Pay building, is kept up really well. So those, and so if we go to Dallas and you're in a Class A office building, you got to have a restaurant, you got to have a gym, you got to have a convenience store, all within the building, and that's considered Class A. So Class A for Lincoln is different than what Class A in other markets would be. But
what about Class B and Class C? What kind of things would you see in those? What
would,
really differentiates those here in Lincoln?
Yeah, not as much amenities, but the feel of the building. A Class B building I would look at that's well kept, and I'm going to something like the Miller and Payne building, or some of these larger floor plate buildings that didn't have as many windows, that you're not going to have a lot of professionals. You know, you have each have their own window. Class B buildings, you know, just good, well-kept buildings that maybe aren't as nice or as classy, or maybe wasn't designed by an architect or something like that.
Very good. And what's Class C then?
Class C would be a typical building that probably the owner hasn't put much money into it for a long time. They just come in, and most tenants have to take the space as is, and maybe they just recarpet. And so for the last 20 years, there hasn't been any upgrades to the building. Class C usually, you know, sometimes has more occupancy than a Class B, because a Class C cost will be 1/3 of a Class A, let's say. And Class B will be close to 2/3 of Class A. So people will want that space, and parking, amenities, location, good snow removal.
Something important this week. So when you talk about, you talked about you see probably some openings coming in the leasing space and all of that, as people maybe are not paying, they're paying their leases right now, but they're not occupying their buildings. So talk a little bit about the commercial real estate you see for sale. Is it about normal? Is it below average? Is it above average as far as amount of commercial property available for purchase?
Lincoln, Nebraska is kind of unique. We're kind of part of the farm mentality. People don't sell. They hold on to it. They'll pass it on to their heirs. Bigger markets, commercial real estate is an investment. They hold it for 5 or 10 years, build it up, and then sell it and move on to the next product or something. Lincoln is more like, we'll buy it and we're just going to hold it for a long time. So Lincoln, there really isn't a whole lot of sales activity. When you do see some, it's kind of rare, especially in really good properties. So the sales part of it, and we haven't been seeing much for sale yet. I don't think people are getting that hurt by anything. We don't have that size of vacancy. Like I said, I was down in Dallas. I mean, there were 2 buildings across from my hotel that I would say probably a third full, and they're, 500,000 square foot buildings. And so you'll see a lot of that across the country. Banks aren't loaning a whole lot, but that doesn't bother Nebraskans that much, because we really don't borrow and leverage to the max on all of our buildings.
Okay, so where do you see things going the next couple of years? You talk about some of those folks that are paying their lease but not occupying, but where do you see it headed? As I'm guessing some of those leases are going to come to an end in the next probably 2 to 3, 4 years. are you concerned about a lot of empty available space, or do you feel like that things are going well enough in Lincoln that we're going to see continued rental of those spaces?
I'm optimistic. I think we'll do well. Talking to people around the country, a lot of the other commercial brokerage firms their comments are we've got to stay alive till 2025. They're saying this coming year is going to be dead in the water for most of the economy around the country. But Lincoln, we never see the high ups or downs. I've always said we're in the middle of the country. When a big wave hits the coast, by the time it gets here, it's just a little ripple. So we don't see a whole lot of swings, which is good. Being home to the university, being home to the state capitol, and those type of things, and the good Midwestern attitudes, we don't see a whole lot of problems with that. Now, that being said, we got a lot of structures in the downtown area that might need to be repurposed. Everyone talks about putting them into rental for housing. I don't know. We'll see how far that goes. City's going to be putting a lot of money into the downtown area to try to keep it the center of the city. We'll see how that goes. There's some people that have invested a lot of money down here. You have Speedway and Milnet and WRK that have put a lot of money into new buildings down here, and are just hoping that stays in a good position. So I'm optimistic. I think commercial real estate will do well. Retail seems to be doing well. We don't have a whole lot of vacancy in retail. Industrial is just killing it. There's not enough industrial space right now. We've seen increase in pricing in industrial pretty much 50% over the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
People that have been paying $4 or $5 a square foot for an industrial building are paying $7 to $10 a square foot for an industrial building. So, which you would think would cause a lot more supply to be built, but nobody's out there wanting to take a chance today in today's economy.
Wow. All right, Richard. So as we wrap up the segment here, if someone's looking to rent some commercial real estate or wanting to get a hold of you, how can they find you guys and get a hold of NAI FMA Realty?
Oh, we're located in downtown Lincoln, but again, our phone numbers are 402-441-5800. And just look up NAI FMA and you should be able to find us. We have a few signs around the city too, so you can always call us off of that. But I would, if you have any interest in looking around for space, I would definitely call a commercial realtor. If not us, call one of our competitors. But get a hold of somebody that's professional and let them handle a lot of work for you.
Excellent. Well, again, Richard McGinnis from NAI FMA Realty. Thanks for joining us on the LIBA Business Hour. Appreciate it. And appreciate the perspective on the commercial real estate market.
Thank you, bud.
All right. Thanks, Richard. We'll be back after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
USTOP is a member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with United Way of Lincoln and Lancaster County. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So, if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine, you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
USTOP is a member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with United Way of Lincoln and Lancaster County. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. This segment is sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services, building a stronger, healthier community through advocacy, inclusion, perseverance, unity, and compassion. Learn more at ibhealthservices.com. All right, our guest for this segment is Tim Haruza. Tim is with Miller Roback here in Lincoln. Tim, welcome to the LIBA Business Hour.
Hello, Bud. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you and have you on the show. Well, Tim, I thought it would be good. This is a little bit of a different, Miller Roback's involved a little bit of a different business than a lot of our members and people that are involved with LIBA. So talk to us, just give us kind of the 50,000 foot view of Miller Roback and what you guys do and kind of what your business is.
Yeah, so we are a strictly lobbying and government relations firm, Bud. Miller Roback's been around since the mid-90s, founded by 2 lawyers here in Lincoln, Bill Miller, our senior partner at the firm, and a gentleman named Larry Ruth, who previously practicing law at a private practice firm here in Lincoln, and were doing lobbying work, right? So they were representing clients before the Nebraska legislature, going down and working with senators and policymakers in private practice, decided that they wanted to do it full-time lobbying, and so founded the firm in the mid-90s. We've been doing it full-time since. We've got 4 attorneys in the office. I should preface it to say, you don't have to be a lawyer to lobby, but as you know,
thank God.
Anybody can come down and talk to their state senators. Anybody can register as a lobbyist and pursue that. We all happen to be lawyers. We take a very professional services approach to it in terms of the skills that we think we bring to the table. And so we've got 4 attorneys in the office that represent all types of businesses, business and trade associations. We represent individual business interests, and then also, professional interests as well. We've got some nonprofits that we work for and on behalf of, and a lot of what we're doing is just what a lawyer would do, or somebody, and advocating with senators, state senators, about the policy decisions that they're making, how they impact our clients that we represent, and, candidly, whether or not they're going to be good or bad for Nebraskans in different forms.
Excellent. So let's kind of take a dive, Tim, into, I think when some people hear lobbying, they have maybe some bad connotations or perspectives, but talk about what it really means to lobby, because I think it's helpful for people to understand what exactly it means to lobby and be a lobbyist.
Yeah, I mean, we are always one of the easiest targets, right, for people to complain about in the political process. It's very easy to say, man, those high-powered lobbyists are influencing senators. You have I saw a headline just last night about the over impact that certain types of, conservative or liberal or other organizations might have. What I can tell you that from our standpoint, and like I said before, our client list includes a number of professional associations, right? So we represent the medical association and the bar association, and doctors and lawyers, and we represent the dental association and a slew of folks that are just out trying to do their work, right? But we serve as sort of a conduit, not always to go in and get something done for them. Sometimes that happens, right? They run into a rule or regulation or some red tape or some government practice that's causing them problems, and we'll go in and work with senators to figure out a solution to make them be able to do their business better, but also simply to educate them, right? We serve as a conduit between the people on the ground, the businesses that are trying to do money and operate their business as free of government regulation as they possibly can. We serve as a conduit to get them in front of the lawmakers. And sometimes it's just simply as simple as explaining why we do what we do or why we don't do something that a senator thinks we should do. And sort of without that kind of middleman to help facilitate those conversations, it can get really easy to get lost in the process, or for senators, policymakers to do things that they think seem pretty good at the outset, but they might not have all of the information there. So I think a lot of people assume that lobbyists are, they have a bad taste in their mouths, or they think that they do.
It's not just back rooms and cigars and deal making. It's a little different than that.
It is definitely none of those things. And I think that's probably the most shocking for especially our clients that sort of walk in, or what's always shocking to me is talking to a state senator that's newly elected, right? They come in and they're running and they're like, hey, I don't need lobbyists. I don't need you guys. I'll figure it out. They learned very quickly that of all of I'm working on it today, bud. We're day 4 of bill introduction in this legislative session, and we're over 250 bills that have been introduced. Senators are introducing bills that they're thinking about, but they might not have any idea what their colleagues are introducing yet. And part of the lobby's job, what we do is we read all the bills, figure out where they're coming from, and it's a conversation facilitator. It's an information gathering thing. And it's about making sure that the senators hear, not from me, but from business owners and Nebraskans and employees that are affected by the bills, to get feedback to the senators and help them make an informed decision. I can tell you, one of my colleagues always likens us to, we're right there in the First Amendment, man, right? Petition your government for grievances, the Declaration of Independence, right to petition your government for grievances, and get before your senators. We work as a communication tool to make that happen. So you don't need a lobbyist to do any of that. I think that we are professionals at the process, and knowing how to help senators. And I tell you this too, bud, I'll tell anybody that ever asks me, I don't think I've ever changed a senator's mind with something that I've necessarily said. I may have or gotten them to vote a certain way, I guess, just by being there and working on the bill. But I think that I have, in my role, have done a good job, or do a good job, of trying to get people in front of the senators that can help educate them to make a better decision for their constituents and for Nebraska.
I think you hit on some really good things there, because I know a lot of people, like I said, have a bad taste. Like, you guys just have people over, you sit in a back room, you make these deals, and then all this stuff happens. And I should say we, not you, because I'm in that business too. But I think that the interesting thing, especially with these state associations and specifically LIBA, because you worked at LIBA, we're both alumni of LIBA, but it was to speak on behalf and educate the people involved in those associations. And it's kind of a two-way street, because you're wanting to educate the people in the association about what this bill does and how it may affect their industry. And then also you're trying to educate state senators and say, hey, here's something in this bill maybe you didn't think about. This is how it could affect the medical field, or this association, or that association, or these business owners. And I think that conversation is such a valuable component of the lobbying process. And I haven't run across a lot of lobbyists that are, I don't want to say threatening, but kind of in your face with senators, you better vote this way or else kind of thing. It's more of trying to have a conversation, because with only 49 senators, you get crossways with one or two, you could be crossways with 25 real quickly. And so I think that conversation, I think you put it really well when you said, let's have a conversation on those issues.
I would tell you that attitude goes a long ways. And if you think you're going to come in, hire a lobbyist and that's going to get senators to be on your side or not on your side, it does not start with that. You have got to come with a good policy, and you got to come with a plan, and you got to make your case. I mean, like I said, I'm a lawyer by training. I practiced law before I started lobbying. And I do think that it's no different than making an argument to a judge, right? At the end of the day, I don't push a button. I don't get to push the red or green light and make a vote on whether it's good or bad. And no individual senator passes a bill. You cannot get something done without, 25 votes at the minimum, and more likely these days it takes 33 just to get things going. But that is a majority, if not a substantial majority, of the elected members of the legislature who have constituents, 40,000 constituents that they answer to. So hiring the lobbyist is not how you get something done. You've got to come up with a good policy proposal that you want to pursue, and you got to go make your case to every one of those 49 judges and get them to vote on your side, or get more of them than not to agree that it's going to be good for Nebraska in the long run. So I think there's a lot of misplaced assumptions about lobbyists having power or undue influence. Do I think that senators know us and see us because we're there working with them every day? Absolutely. Do I think that we bring an understanding of sort of the legislative process that your average Joe may not know? Definitely. And I mean, that's the expertise that you get when you hire a lobbyist on your behalf. While you are out running your business, I'm the one thinking about how the legislature operates. You be the expert at changing oil or fixing cars or seeing patients or assisting clients on estate planning practices. I'm an expert on the legislative process and who to talk to if you have questions or need answers.
Well, and I think the other thing, especially when you deal with businesses that maybe have a presence in the state, but they may only have a certain number of employees of the state and they're doing business across the country, or even associations that work across the state, right? You have the relationships, and the lobbyists have those relationships where they can help connect to a committee chair or to a state senator when a bill gets introduced. And I think those relationships are probably more valuable than anything when someone hires a lobbyist.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's like anything, right? Any business to business relationship that you have, it's finding somebody to help point you in the right direction when you've got questions that you can't answer for yourself. Anybody could do this. Like I said, any business owner that wants to engage on a bill can email their state senator. Nebraska is, as you and anybody who comes from this state knows, Bud, Nebraska is a very small state, right? Everybody knows somebody. State senators around here are very accessible. You can walk into the Capitol and you can pass in a little note to your senator, and a lot of them will come out and talk to you face to face and answer questions that you might have. But it's sort of the process of being there on day one. Legislature gavelled in last Wednesday, January 3rd. I'll be there until mid-April of this year, every single day, sort of talking to people, senators, other lobbyists, right, that you may or may not disagree with or might have the opposite opinion that you do about what the policy should be. And it's just kind of being there and being around and knowing the process and following it through to make sure that you see the results and or have an opportunity to make those connections right up until the last minute when they push that red or green button and pass a bill.
Absolutely. Let's talk as we kind of wrap up here. When it comes to business owners and associations and things like that, talk about why it's important to pay attention to what's happening in the legislature. Because I think a lot of times, business owners are like, I'm just busy. I don't, but what I found with LIBA is when you can inform them of something, it helps them be more aware and engaged. So talk about why it's important to stay in touch with those things as a business owner and be involved.
Well, let me start with this, but it is understandably very easy to not care, right? To not pay attention, to focus on, doing your day-to-day, doing your day job and just sticking with that. what that can lead to, though, and what it will inevitably lead to, is that if you don't speak up when the legislature is considering something, or when government, and I'll use the big word, scary word, when government's trying to do something good or bad for you, if your voice is not heard, a decision is going to be made without you in the room or without you at the table. And I think if you sort of take that for granted, a lot of times working on the day-to-day and doing the 9 to 5 or the 100-hour work week for small business owners that all of them have, right? If you get so ingrained in that and you kind of just assume that the best will happen, what can happen is things can start rolling downhill a little bit faster than you expect. And then all of a sudden you're looking at your taxes next year, or you're getting an email from your accountant saying, hey, I don't know if you saw this, but starting January 1, we've got this new thing that's going to happen. And it affects you more than you might realize, whether it is sort of the red tape regulation that folks talk about all the time, and kind of even something as simple, but there's a bill in this year, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it will work out very well for a lot of consumers, but that would require every retailer who sells gift cards to have a notice at their cash register or on their kind of their debit swipe, when you swipe your debit card, a notice warning folks about potential fraud related to gift cards. Now that's probably not an onerous requirement. I imagine it allows you to put it on the screen, sort of a thing. And I'm sure it's to protect vulnerable folks who might be susceptible to those scams where you're buying gift cards and then mailing them to folks or whatever, to help my nephew get out of prison or that sort of thing. Probably not a huge deal, but it does require the business owner to make some changes in how they operate their business. On a grander scale, Bud, you'll see it in the news. You'll see it probably today. I think there's an article up already, but the governor had a press conference on taxes already. And last week we were talking about a 2-cent sales tax increase for all retailers. This week we're talking again about taking exemptions off the table. So when you're talking a business that provides, I think one of the quotes from a senator in the article that I just read 20 minutes before I came on with you is taxing legal services and accounting services and the things that Nebraskans are paying for. Maybe you pass that cost on to your clients. Maybe you pass those costs on to the folks that come in. Maybe it ends up hitting your bottom line in terms of what people are spending coming off of a high inflation post-pandemic world. We'll add some more costs onto what people are paying. That sort of stuff affects a business owner's bottom line. And if you don't come in and get your voice heard, the decisions will get made without you there. And as I said before, as we talked earlier, senators aren't going to make their vote because of what a lobbyist tells them, right? I represent associations. You've done that. You represent associations and groups of business owners, and you go in there and tell them, hey, I got members that are really concerned about this. It is a different conversation with a senator than when you or I go in there and talk to them and say, hey, we know people that are affected, than when an actual business owner walks in and says, here's the number of employees I have in your district, and I'm going to have to lay off some folks to cover these costs, or this is going to affect me here in this way or that way. And so, like I said, it's really easy to be complacent, but if you do that, the decision will get made without your input, and that is not a good thing.
You make a really great point, Tim, because that's one of the things, it was kind of the drum that I beat all the time at LIBA. It's one thing when I show up and I represented LIBA and said, we have this many members and et cetera, and this is why we think this is a bad bill or a good bill or whatever it might be. But when those business owners start showing up and those constituents start showing up, there's a lot of, ears perk up, right? And those stories are way more compelling than, you or I getting up there making our testimony. And frankly, I loved having the people that would show up to testify versus me testifying. Obviously, I need to testify, but when I can bring 3 or 4 business owners to testify and talk about how this bill affects them, or why it's good, or why maybe it needs to be changed, that makes a big difference. And I think you hit the nail right on the head there. So
there's nobody who's a better expert on how a business operates than the person who owns or runs that business. I'm not an expert on any area that I handle for a client. I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough to connect the right people, is what I always say. But if you're relying on me to be your expert on, how that's going to affect my employees or whatever, it's better to have the actual owner in the chair always.
Absolutely. Okay, Tim, as we wrap up, any final encouragement for our listeners and business owners to get involved and to be involved in this process?
Now's the time. Now is the time to do it. We are on day first week or two, 10 days of bill introduction. They've got until January 17th to introduce a whole bunch of great ideas the senators have. A ton of those things are going to affect
a whole bunch of ideas the senators have. How about that?
They're ideas.
Everybody has their own great ideas, though, right?
Somebody's good idea. And if you, like I said, if you sit on the sidelines and you let the process sort of work out, decision will get made without your input. Use your business associations. Use LIBA. If you're a member of LIBA, if you're not a member of LIBA in Lincoln, you should be.
Amen.
They're doing great work in terms of connecting people like we've talked about. And so join those associations. If you've got other trade associations, make sure your voice is heard and call your senators. These folks really need to hear from you. It doesn't have to be a rude keyboard warrior approach. It doesn't have to be phone call. Send a short note, or if you see them out on the street or somewhere, or if you have a personal relationship with them or their staff, reach out and just give them some feedback and thank them too for the good stuff. It's not always complaining about the bad stuff. It's like making sure that they hear about the good stuff that you know that they're working on too. So now's the time to get engaged. Do it in January and February. It'll go a long ways toward getting good policy decisions. It goes all downhill from here, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Tim Haruza from Miller Roback, thank you for joining us, Tim. Appreciate it. And we'll be back after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
USTOP is a member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with United Way of Lincoln and Lancaster County. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So, if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine, you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
USTOP is a member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with United Way of Lincoln and Lancaster County. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. This segment is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative, helping student athletes excel within the NIL landscape. Learn more about how you can be involved at 1890nebraska.com. Quite an interesting little tidbits, I'll call them today. both on the commercial real estate side and then on engaging with the government, which is a little different spin on what we've been talking about. But I think early on in the legislative session, it's important for people to think about that and get involved. And I think Tim had some really great points. It's worth probably going back and listening to a few times so people can understand the importance and value, because I always bang that drum. Decisions are made by those who show up. And so get involved and engaged, whether it's, and Tim just talked a lot about the legislature, but there's so much that goes on at the city, the county, the school boards, all your local stuff. A lot of people focus in on the national political scene and what's going on there. The things that affect our day-to-day lives, I mean, snow removal, big topic this week. Those are the things that are happening here locally that really need us to get involved. And so it's important for people to do that and just engage, because it's our duty. I don't want to lecture people too much. So
I probably do not know enough. Now that I'm actually in the adult world, I should probably get to knowing what in the world is happening downtown and around it. So
it's good to know what's happening. I mean, how it might affect you is, when you buy your first house, or, what's going on with, street repairs and all these other things and all these different taxes we pay. So it's good for people to get involved. And, the commercial real estate thing is really fascinating. Richard talked about that. I've gone through that process recently, finding this great office space that I'm sitting in, actually. But it's quite a process, and it's good to have people that can help walk you through. So, let's wrap up today. We got some upcoming events for LIBA, Nick, that we'll share. January 16th at the Jasmine Room, will be the monthly LIBA luncheon. They're going to have a conversation on a topic of epic tax, which talks about how Nebraskans are taxed, whether it's property or use taxes and things like that. Nice town hall for that. Coffee and Context on January 23rd, hosted by EOS Worldwide at 157th and Pioneers Boulevard out there east of town, 15665 Pioneers. And if your business is interested in getting more involved with LIBA or hosting one of these great events, call the LIBA office at 466-3419. We'll be back again here next week. Thanks for joining us on the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7.